it's me, Renee. I'm back, and today, as you can see, I'm talking about bookish places. Now, I've done, I think, a video about this before. I might have done exactly this video before. Some ways I'd fun to do it again. So yeah, in honor of International Book Day on Tuesday, I've been doing like bookie books videos this week, like extra book focus, not just what I'm reading, but yeah, extra. And I had planned to do this video, and then I kind of thought today, okay, which place exactly I'm going to use? And then I thought, you know what? I feel like if you Google bookish places to go, every every list will have this round. It will have the Waterstones in Piccadilly. That's 5 stories high. I mean, that's some places that kind of on every list. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to just go focus on Norwegian places because yeah, here in Norway we have some cool bookish places. So I'm going to do those. Now the also question is which am I going to start with? You know what? I'm going to start with the one closest to my heart, which is Stormen or the Storm, which is a library in my hometown, Bodø. It was finished in 2015, so my god, soon 10 years since it is opened. It's kind of fun because I remember like there were being talks about Bodø getting a new library for like, I feel like it was, at least for me, I feel like it was talk about it getting a new library for like 8, 9 years before it was finished, and then in the beginning it was supposed to like be finished in 2013, 2012, and then it just got pushed and pushed because things like this always take some time for reasons. Though kind of funny, I did talk to a librarian last time I was in Bodø 2 years ago. No, actually not 2 years ago, last year. And she said that actually there had been talks about having a new library, but much longer before that. Like they had talked like back in the 80s about getting a new library. So long talks. So I suppose I don't know how it is like everywhere else, but at least in Norway there's this rule, like this law actually, that you have to have a library in each city. Some cities will have more than one library, but each city have to have one library. So I mean, we did have a library in Bodø before this new library, but that library, honestly, it was kind of a bit of a letdown. Like it was kind of felt like more like some rooms with some books in them. It didn't really like when I was watching movies, TV series when I was a kid. Like I feel like more or less every movie and TV series had like a huge library. If they were going to a library, the library was like huge. It would often be in an old building. It would be like sometimes you had secret doors, but you were also like magical libraries, or you just like libraries were always a big thing. And in Bodø, that my childhood library, I mean, it was 2 stores, yes, but like it kind of never like it kind of always kind of felt a bit like stuffed. It kind of felt like it wasn't really a little place to sit and read. It wasn't really decorated much, which is kind of sad in a way, I feel like. And yeah, I mean this new one, in at least also like in comparison to the new one, it's just a totally different thing. The new one, it's like so the what's changed is not just the location, because they changed like where the library is. They kind of built a whole new building. They didn't just fix the building they had. They made a whole new building. But the new one is by the harbor, to be precise. So you have this magnificent view of the sea, like, because it is, I would say, yeah, I think it's 3 stories high, so not huge, but it's, I mean, kind of big. 3 stories, that's quite nice, really. It's not too heavy. And then you have always like by the harbor, you have these windows, so you can look straight into the sea, look straight to the sea. And so you have like each floor has like well, yeah, have kind of a decent amount of chairs. Like you can just sit in comfy chairs and just look at the beautiful view. So that's a big, uh, a big thing that's kind of great with this new library. And the first floor you have a cafe. So that's kind of nice that you can go to a cafe before you go to look at the the books, and also there's also 2 rooms where you can have like events. So you can have sometimes you have lectures from university or whatnot. So there's 2 rooms that you can use for that. And then in the second floor you have some group rooms. Of course, like at least now in Norway, most libraries also have group rooms that you can rent if you're a student or whatnot. And then there's this kind of big fantasy fantasy section where they have lots of fantasy books. They also have kind of a big nice room with YA books. I quite like that. Yes, I've been reading less YA now than before, but I still kind of want teens to like have a nice place to go in the library and stuff. Um, and also like they have like a huge selection of local authors and like local history. They have a big section of nonfiction. Have a big English section. They also they also have some books in Spanish, French, and different languages. I mean, I don't know how it. I suppose again, I don't know how it is abroad, but like in Norway, most of our libraries have like they have like depending on how big libraries, but all most libraries have like an English section, and then we're also supposed to have a section where you have different a different language. Yeah, different languages than English. So like if you're a student, if you're a exchange student, if you're a person who moved to Norway, you could still use the library without like before you've managed to learn English or Norwegian. So the library is for everyone really in Norway. And yeah, I like that quite a lot. And I also quite like how I also quite like how the Stormen, the library I'm talking about right now, he gets a book. That they have like these great words. This great, I'm just blanking out. Yeah, this great divide, not divide. This great categorization. Wait, okay, I'll just say sections. They have these great sections, so like kind of this sad thing I would say, like a lot of libraries, because I'm a big library fan, of course my name, because Library of Alexandria and whatnot. So like I kind of want to go into like all the libraries that I walk by. So I've been to quite a lot of libraries in Norway, and sadly, quite a lot of libraries in Norway you have adult section, you have a kids section, you have in a kids section you have it's divided by age, and then you have uh, some shelves with non-fiction for kids, and then you might sometimes have like a fantasy sorry, a fantasy like selection, and that's kind of that. Well, depending on how big the library is, you have more or less books. And for the adult books, you have usually it's just called non-fiction, fiction, and then crime. And that's always bugs me because like fiction is so many things. You can have historical fiction, you can have contemporary fiction, you can have fantasy fiction, you can have you can have romance fiction, you can have science fiction. I mean, fiction is so many things, but quite often you just have crime, non-fiction, kids, fiction. It's like fiction, that's just too vague. So what I really love about Stormen, the Storm, is that they have a historical fiction section. They have a romance section. It's not huge, but it is for a few shelves. They have a they have a crime fiction, and then they have like a general fiction selection. So yeah, I like how it's kind of more divided, more categorized in a different, not just fiction, not fiction. I love that. And yeah, honestly, also, so Stormen has actually gotten some architecture awards, because just like the building itself is just very very beautiful. I'll post like I'll, edit in pictures of it here, and I think a lot of things that I really much love about it is like how beautiful the building itself is. And I don't know, I'm kind of hoping that since like this new cool library exists now, that in 20, 10 years time, lots of new readers will exist in Buddha because of like, I mean, at least I feel like a lot of things that could make you a reader is like the library. If you have a cool, good library that you use, it's much easier to become a reader. I mean, yeah, a lot of readers are readers because their parents are readers, but some people become readers just by themselves. And by having a nice library to go to, by having a nice bookstore to go to, that's a big help. It's also kind of sad in a way because, I mean, the library I'm talking about right now, the one in Buda, it's in my hometown, but it's not the town I live in right now. So it's not like I see the library all the time. But I do love that it exists. I do love that it is a great library. I do love that it exists. Am I envious of the kids who use it now and teens who can grow up with this library? Yes, very much. But I'm also like happy for them. Quite happy for them. Well, quite very happy for them. Sorry. And then let's move on to the library in Oslo, which is actually also quite new one. That was opened in 20 actually that was actually opened in 2020, so that's, yeah, they opened it in March 2020, so it's kind of like a small opening, and then I have like a bigger opening later this year, but yeah, sorry. So this one, it's called Bjørvika. It's also by the harbor. I mean, you kind of often want, at least I feel like, having a beautiful building or a building in the harbor, by the harbor, is also often, I think, a good idea because you have just a beautiful view of the sea, of the all the all the boats and whatnot, and it's all the islands over there, and I just love that. But yeah, so Bjørvika, they actually have 5 stores. Yes, so 5 floors, 5 floors. They have one floor for it's actually kind of like half a floor for YA because it's kind of like you go up by like a smaller place and then you have like a YA section, and then you have then you have the kids section and the adult section in the one same floor, and then in the I believe the 3rd floor you have non-fiction, and then I think the 4th floor, I think maybe the 4th floor maybe more it's more just kind of general group rooms and stuff. I think that's kind of it. But yeah, it's just, and you have an elevator in the middle of the library, so you can just easily go up and down if you like, and you can also use yeah, sorry, elevator. You can use elevator or you could use escalator. Escalator is the word. So yeah, you have both escalator and elevator, so that's also great. And like they also have quite kind of fun. They have both cafe, but they also actually have a library store where they sell beautiful bookmarks. They sell notepads. They sell, I think they mostly some postcards. Yeah, lots of cool bookish things they sell there. So that's also quite very very fun. They also have a basement where they have like the older books. So like if you want a book from 2003, you can go to the basement yourself and see if they have it there. So that's quite kind of like that. It's quite fun. Um, they have like often they have like, yeah, they have like a movie. So like they have like rooms where they have events happening. I think they have movies every other week or something, like when they show a different movie. They have lots of authors coming there and talking, and yeah, it's an amazing place. I'm gonna show you pictures, of course, of this as well because yeah, it's just the best, the best. It's so just an amazing library. Love it so much. That one I would say I've probably have used a bit more than I used Stormen, but also because like I have a sister in Oslo, so I go often more often to Oslo than I go to Bodø because life. And yeah, so that's that. And then we have a little bit of digression, well, a little bit of bonus because also in Oslo, because yeah, I think that's so. Yeah, Bjørvika is in Oslo, which is Norway's capital. Also in Oslo, not by Bjørvika, but like in the same city. They opened up a library branch, so it's kind of it connected to another library, and it opened up in 20, I want to say 16, maybe 15 or 16, around then. And what's cool about this branch, it's not like a huge, it's one big room, so it's not like this is not many floors, but I think at least it's not many floors, like maybe 1 2 floors, but yeah, more or less one floor. uh and also, yeah, lots of books there, lots of couches to sit, and they also have like a room where you can make stuff, as a lot of libraries now do nowadays. They have like maker space and stuff, so that's quite fun. But what the real deal with this branch is, this is just a youth library, so you cannot like, it's not just the books that in there are for kids. No, if you're over 18 and under, I think it is under 9, you can't go inside. You're not allowed to go inside. You're not allowed. You can't go inside. And yeah, I think that's quite fun to like have a library just for the teens, because like often, yeah, for one, often teens who read often get bullied, so it's nice to have a safe place to do that, to read. But also, like, if you're a teen, you might be uh, be tempted by studying drugs or doing crime, or like, yeah, things in your teens that's often like a bad time for you. So like, if you have a nice place to hang, yes, in a library, I mean, you don't have to pay anything to be in a library, so it's just, yeah, it's a great concept, and I think it's just quite fun. They have actually, they do sometimes have like have tours of the library because it's so cool. So they have like tours for adults, but like in the day-to-day life, you can't go there if you're an adult. Uh, and also they do have sometimes had signings there, like book talks and whatnot. I think they do things quite often there, but yeah, I think that's just, yeah, I love that. Love that exists. It's just so cool. So Biblio, that's what that's called. Then, sorry, sorry, something in my throat. I don't know. Then I'm gonna be moving a bit out of no, uh, left field. So I'm gonna moving away from libraries and talk about two bookstores. Well, one a book chain and one a bookstore. So there's also, surprise, surprise, the next one we'll talk about is also in Oslo. I mean, of course, the capital is going to have all the cool bookstores. That's what happens often. I suppose not always, but at least that's what happens in Norway. All of the cool things, not all of it, a lot of the cool things are in Oslo. So, although they're not cool things other places as well, but yeah, you know what I mean. Uh, but yeah, you also have a quite cool bookstore, Eldorado. It actually used to be a cinema for a long time, and then sadly it couldn't it couldn't proceed as a cinema. So it was sold, and someone decided to, you know what, I'm gonna buy it and use it as a bookstore. So now it's a bookstore. So like, I would say you can still kind of see it's cinema because you have like, there's a huge roof there, and yeah, it's kind of quite fun to walk in, like see like, oh yeah, I can imagine this being a cinema before. Uh, I think, yeah, I just have to double check myself, but yeah, before they were a bit quirkier, and now I suppose depends on how you think about it. They're not like that now, but like before they actually used to have like, they divided up the books by publisher, not by crime. So if you knew that the publisher was Simon Schuster, for example, like publisher, you would go to uh, the left corner of the room, and then it would be in that corner, and then they would have like all the books from Simon Schuster with the kids books, adult books, everything would be in that corner. And I personally felt like this was a bit untidy and a bit chaotic. I kind of liked when that was how it went, but I think they kind of fixed that like 2 or 3 years ago, so that's not how it is now. But it's still kind of a big bookstore. Like, it's, so I'd say, yeah, it actually is 2 floors. It used to be 3 floors, but now it's 2 floors. They have like a gaming play area on the third floor, but yeah, they have more or less 2 floors where it's just books, and they have like it's just so big. They have a lot of non-fiction, a lot of fiction, a lot of English books. They just have a big selection of stuff, and yeah, I just love it there. It's just so cool. Yeah, love it so much. Right. And then last but not least, a bookstore I talked about before, bookstore slash branch, but sorry, chain. But yeah, it's also again a good thing. Never been talked about so many times. So yeah, Outland is the place to go if you love fantasy, if you love science fiction. That's the place to go in Norway, because Outland, it's a Norwegian chain. They actually had a 30-year-old or 30 anniversary last year, so they just turned 30. So it's quite a new chain. But they sell, I suppose you could say it's a bookstore. I would say more, probably more nice to say it's a nerd store, because they sell fantasy books for kids and adults. They sell science fiction books for kids and adults. They sell comic books. They sell board games. They sell role playing equipment. They sell merchandise with like merchandise that you can buy in like Marvel merchandise and like t-shirts and stuff. They sell lots of Lego. They have like just like a huge selection of everything that you can think of nerdiness. That if you think of it, they have it. They just have so much, and they quite often also have nice sales, and that's quite like that. They have a members club where you always get some um some discard, not discard, some you get some less, you have to pay less if you're a member, like on anything you buy. Also quite like that. And yeah, it's just Outland to me, it's a place that like when I went to university in also I often went there and kind of use all the money there because there's so many things to use money on. But I would also go there and just kind of look and just kind of feel like and just breathe and kind of feel like, okay, now I'm at home, because people in Outland, there were often other customers and people who worked there. There would be people who had red hair, people who had blue hair, people who had lots of tattoos. Like the weirdos go to Outland. Like Outland, you go and you don't really feel alone. Yes, myself, I've never been being a Lord of the Rings fan, and my Harry Potter era is long gone. But I'm still a fantasy lover, and it's just it's quite a nice. And also quite a lot of quite a lot of bookstores in Norway. If you're gonna look for fantasy books, they might have like 2 or 3 selection of fantasy books, and then might have like a small. They might have like a small shelf of fantasy, while Outland has just fantasy. I mean that's their main thing. So like if you want fantasy books, go to Outland because they have that's what they have there. And yeah, I just love it so much. They also have like as I said, a cool nonfiction section where they have like uh, cool. They have cool. And they have like the QI books and whatever. And yeah, it's quite I love Outland. So if you ever go to Norway, check out Outland, and also of course there's other places. And yeah, this has been me gushing and sharing about beautiful, wonderful, fangirling, fantastical book places that you should go if you ever come to Norway. Or I suppose if you live in Norway, use these places. As well. If you live in Norway, you probably already know about them. Well, you might have just moved to Norway. I don't know. But yeah, I hope you liked this video, and I hope you have a nice weekend. And I'll see you soon. Bye.